Over 2,000 years ago, in the ancient Greek city of Syracuse, there was a king named Hero II, and Hero wanted a crown, which was supposed to be made of pure gold. Therefore, he gave a craftsman some of this gold and ordered him to complete the task. Voila, the king got his crown. But here's the issue. Hero got wind of a concerning rumor that stated the crown was not in fact pure gold. It instead was mixed with silver, a less precious metal. Now this made the king very worried. How could he figure out whether or not the crown was actually pure gold? Well, to solve this issue, he enlisted the help of a man named Archimedes, who was a well-respected scientist, mathematician, and inventor. To solve this problem with the crown, Archimedes considered the concept of density, which describes how compact a substance is. To demonstrate, let's consider a scenario. It is autumn and you are outside raking leaves. To collect these leaves, you keep a bag with you. Because leaves are very light, you have no problem dragging this bag along. Now consider if that same bag were filled with rocks. It would become a lot harder to move, right? Well, this is because a bag of rocks is more dense than a bag of leaves. In other words, even though these two bags take up the same amount of space and can fit the same amount of things inside, the bag with rocks is heavier because rocks are more dense than leaves. As you may imagine, this concept is true with other substances, including the metals used to make crowns. Specifically, gold, what the king wants, has a pretty high density. On the contrary, metals like silver have noticeably lower densities. Because density indicates how compact something is, Archimedes figured that he would need to know both how heavy the crown is and how much space it takes up. Therefore, a scale was used to weigh the crown. Archimedes then set out to find some pure gold with the exact same weight as the crown. Now he needs to figure out the amount of space that the gold takes up and the amount of space that the crown takes up. Usually this would be easy. These two rocks, for example, obviously do not take up the same amount of space, but these ones do. So what happens when you have two objects with very different shapes, like the block of gold and the crown? Well, as you may imagine, it becomes difficult to determine whether or not they are exactly the same size, especially with all these nooks and crannies. This puzzled Archimedes. In fact, he was so stumped that he decided to just relax for a while and take a bath. And here's where he discovered something important. Upon entering the bath, the water rose, spilling over the edges. Also, he noticed that the amount of water pushed up, or spilled over the edge, took up the same amount of space as his legs, or more generally speaking, whatever was submerged in the water. While this concept might not seem super important, it is part of what is known as Archimedes Principle, which has many applications in science and engineering. Okay, back to the story. When Archimedes realized his concept, he supposedly shouted Eureka, which is the Greek word meaning I have found it, and then he ran through the streets to find King Hero. When he arrived, Archimedes got 2 equal containers of water for the crown and the pure gold. What he saw was shocking. The crown caused the water to rise more than the pure gold. This means that the crown took up more space than the gold, even though both objects had the exact same weight. Therefore, the pure gold is more dense than the crown because its weight is compacted into a smaller amount of space. With this information, our story ends, and Archimedes was now able to inform King Hero that the crown was not pure gold because its density was too low.